Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Stevens, the Director of Graduate Admission here at King's College. I'm pleased to have here with us today Andres Armstrong, who graduated from the athletic training program in 2017. We're going to hear about his story at King's College, what led him to decide to be an athletic trainer, and a little bit about his internship with the Kansas City Chiefs, and most recently, his position with the Minnesota Vikings. It's with great pleasure that I introduce you to Andres. We're so thrilled that you're here with us today. I apologize we have to do this little interview virtually, but we just want to make sure everybody's safe. So I put the Alley Center picture behind me so you can feel like you're back home here at King's College. I know you spent some time in that building when you studied athletic training here at King's College. So I appreciate you being here today. So tell me a little bit about how the weather is out there in Minnesota. Here it's snowing, even though my background looks like summertime.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to kind of talk about my story and how I got to Kings and what Kings has done for me. Currently, looking outside the window, it is snowing slightly. Nothing as drastic as many people think that Minnesota is. Unfortunately, it feels like it's minus 23. So staying inside is probably going to be my best bet for the rest of the day.
Right, right. Well, that's great. It's freezing cold here. We're supposed to get a little more snow tomorrow. So do you ever plan on coming back here to Wilkes-Barre at all, or are you staying out in Minnesota where you're?
So I would love to stay in Minnesota just like for full time, but I definitely have been talking to some alumni, some professors, preceptors that kind of helped me along the way, and I definitely want to get back. Unfortunately, with COVID, I can't just walk in a classroom and have a guest speaking moment or anything like that. So unfortunately, virtual is going to have to be best for me right now.
Right. Well, we look forward to seeing you back here on campus when we can safely have you back here. So tell me a little bit about what made you decide to attend King's College way back when you make, not too far back when you made the decision to study athletic training.
So back when I didn't know what I was going to do, I think I want to say I was a junior in high school. I thought that I was going to be a chef. That was my passion. I love to cook. I love to make creations and art through food. And unfortunately, getting a real world restaurant experience kind of turned me off to that. Wasn't really something that I wanted to continue to pursue. And it was a blessing in disguise, but I got injured in a scrimmage for my football team my junior year, and that was the first time I ever had an interaction with an athletic trainer. And it just so happened that he was an alum from King's College. So working with him directly through those 2 weeks of getting back getting back on the field, he kind of let me know what athletic training was, and ever since then I kind of fell in love with it. Even when I wasn't injured, I'd be in his athletic training room kind of picking his brain or just seeing what he was doing, just kind of piqued my interest with that. And my senior year, I was fortunate enough to start getting recruited by King's College football program. And one of the things that kind of was my deal breaker was I wanted to play football for the next 4 years. I wasn't willing to give up the NFL dreams and all of those hopes. But luckily enough, they had an athletic training program that was made up, I think at the time, 75% of them were student athletes. And it's a very unique situation when it comes to athletic training, because anybody that's been in that the major or just understands what you have to do, you kind of know that that's a full-time job in itself, on top of balancing your academics and then on top of your sport commitment. So it was kind of a no-brainer at that point. Once I got on campus, kind of toured around, saw that it was more individualized than a big Division I university. You're just kind of a number. And I think that Kings kind of made me feel like it was home away from home. So that was what got me to go to Kings.
That is so great to hear because that's how we feel, but it's always good to hear that from our students. So when you played football here at Kings, how was the seasons that you were here? How the team do?
It was up and down for sure. I can't say that we had some of like the highest recruited athletes or not, but I think it kind of helped with the story of just Kings in general. We got a bunch of people that want to just continue to get better, whether it is through their academics, through their sports, that we were kind of all able to form a brotherhood. I want to say my freshman year, we went 6-4, and that was I want to say like the first winning season in a good while. And, we weren't satisfied with that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get back to where that was the 4 years that I was here. But, I want to say that bringing in the freshman class that I came in, I believe that we helped change the culture of the program and getting more talent in and just better overall people to help elevate King's College.
Right, right. Well, I actually missed going out to the football games this year, so hopefully we'll be able to go out again this fall. So you mentioned the NFL. So tell us how you got to work as a seasonal athletic trainer intern for the NFL team for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, I got to give all the shout outs to Dr. Greg Janik. He was kind of the one that kind of put it in my ear while I was still in school. My senior year, I remember I was actually at a football practice in my gear and everything. We're just standing out there on the sideline, and he came up. He's like, what do you want to do when you graduate? And I was like, I want to get certified, of course. I want to go and work. He's like, well, where really do you want to work? I'd love to be in the NFL. I know how awesome it is to be in that atmosphere. Going to games, watching it is different, but working on a sideline, you can only imagine how amazing that would be. And so he kind of mentioned there was a position for a preseason internship with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he wanted me to apply. So I applied with that, and fortunately enough, I got that, and that kind of started the snowball effect of me realizing that that's what I want to do, like in my career goals. So going and working with them for the preseason under Rick Burkholder, who holds a lot of weight in athletic training and just the athletic training profession in general, he told me at the end, you have what it takes. You just need to continue to develop your skills, build off your toolbox, because you don't want to just be someone that only has the hammer and a screwdriver. You want to add different components to that. And he motivated me to want to continue to grow in the profession, just to become a better athletic trainer and overall just a better person. So kind of stepped away from the NFL for a couple of years. Got very blessed to come back and work at King's actually for a semester while Dr. Marchetti was on a sabbatical finishing up his doctorate degree, which really helped me, I think, grow just coming back home in that sense and having that sense of comfort, kind of being able to bounce ideas off of professors that were now colleagues, which was really, really cool experience in my opinion. And then I ended up being able to interview for a seasonal position with the Minnesota Vikings, who they knew Greg as well. And since I impressed him and, I kept in good standing with him, he vouched for me, and I was very blessed to be able to be there for 2 years.
That's fantastic. Tell me what a week was like working with the Vikings. Like, what was your week like as an athletic trainer? Like, were you working 12-hour days? What was your schedule like?
Yeah, so it's definitely not always the glitz and glamour. I think a lot of people, they see the product on Sundays or Mondays, just depending on what day you play. But not many people see all the hard work that actually has to go in, not just from the players and the coaches, but from the support staff in the sports medicine field. There'd be times we usually were in around 5:30, 6:30 at the latest, starting treatments early in the morning, letting them go off to meetings, making sure everything was set up for practice. And then when it came for the travel days, one of my responsibilities was making sure that everything that was getting ready to travel was done and set up. So I think a lot of people don't realize how much setup actually it is for the athletic trainers and just overall the equipment staff, all the other people that support the team itself to get to game day, how much work you really do have to put in. So there were days that would be 12-hour days, and then some days when you're playing on a Sunday night, it's a long day. You're still in early in the morning. You're starting treatments, you're getting to the hotel, you're setting up the stadium very early, and then you're probably not going to get home until about 2, 3 in the morning. But honestly, I wouldn't have traded those experiences for the world.
Well, that's fantastic. So when people think about athletic training, like you said, they kind of build different ideas and what they think, and you're out there, you're working with athletes. What would you say to a student that's out there that's, whether they're an athlete or they want to work with athletes? Like, what would you say to them about this career and about choosing this career and, the reasons to go into athletic training?
One of the reasons I chose athletic training wasn't just because I get to stay around a sport. For me, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. So being able to be an athletic trainer, you meet a lot of different people. You interact with a lot of different backgrounds, and it's a very diverse group of people that you're going to be with. And one of my big things is I know I can't win a game for a team, but I know that I can help someone that's injured or didn't know if they were going to be able to make it back for a game or two, and just seeing them be able to build their confidence back up from when they got injured to being back on a field or scoring a game-winning touchdown, being a part of something bigger than just themselves, I think is more rewarding than anything.
Andres, one of the questions that I want to know is how do you feel that your King's College education, your experience here at King's College helped you to reach your career goals?
Personally, I think that in a very humbling way, I think it's prepared me more than most. I've been given the opportunity to work in various positions since I graduated. And on top of that, all of the skills that I learned through King's athletic training, not just with athletic training, but being able to communicate, being able to project yourselves on others in a positive way and help uplift them. They've given me more than enough skills to be able to do that.
Great. What's one thing that you would say that you enjoyed the most about your experience here at King's College in the athletic training program?
One thing that I would say the most that impacted me was when I first got on campus, I was told to meet Dr. Greg Janik immediately, look him in the eyes and give him a stern handshake. And I remember doing that and just seeing him, just glow, how impressed he was that a young man who was only 18 had the character to go, shake his hand, introduce himself, and actually make real eye contact. I think that's something that's kind of a lost art now. And one of the things throughout the 4 years, he kind of saw me as someone that had potential to be a great athletic trainer and not just a trainer, which, if you know, in the athletic training community is a cardinal sin. We are not trainers. We are athletic trainers. Trainers is such a broad term, and that's not what we are. So being able to feel that presence and him projecting that on me really helped elevate myself and, gave me motivation, because he was someone that believed in me more than I want to say I believed in myself. So knowing that I had him in my corner, it just helped me want to be the best athletic trainer that I could be.
I love hearing those stories because I work with our faculty, every day, and they, mean a lot to me. And I know they're very passionate about what they do, but it's really good to hear that from a student. So I appreciate that. Is there anything additional, any experience at King's College that, happened to you that really stood out that, you really cherish or think about when you were here as a student?
Yeah, actually, it's another, Dr. Janik's story. So what I previously spoke about, being able to get that internship with the Kansas City Chiefs, I was very fortunate to be able to project that when it was my senior football banquet, and it was my turn to speak. And for people that know me, I'm not really the best public speaker. I had a script written down. I was really excited to read it. I had my bullet points of what I wanted to hit, who I wanted to thank. And in the middle of it, I got caught up in emotion because I realized that, this is the last time I'm going to be addressing my football team, the program itself, and the athletic trainers that helped me get to where I am. And I remember being there and, making the announcement that I was going to be working with the Kansas City Chiefs, and overcome with emotion, couldn't really get it out.
To Greg, he supported me from the first day I got here. The beginning of my senior year, he came to me and asked me what I wanted to do when I graduated. And I told him I wanted to work in the NFL. So he pushed me and forced me to apply to the Kansas City Chiefs. And today I stand here today and tell you I have signed and delivered. I am working with the Kansas City Chiefs this summer.
As clear as I am now, and just looking out into the full banquet room and seeing people stand up and giving me a standing ovation, And, that was very, very humbling, coming from someone that didn't really have a lot growing up and having that support system in front of me, seeing it materialize and everybody just so happy that I was able to go and fulfill a dream of mine, just really was something that I didn't think was possible. And through King's athletic training program, it was.
Is there any additional comments that you would like to share with us about your experience at King's?
Yeah. So I think that when you're getting ready to choose a college or university to study whatever topic or major you want to focus on, it's important that you kind of make sure that you know where you want to go and is this the atmosphere that you want to learn in and grow in, because it's not just about your education. They're getting ready to send you out in the real world, and your parents aren't going to be there to hold your hand more times than not. And with Kings, I was very fortunate to know that when I got there, the support system that they have, and being a student athlete for the 4 years, I realized how much they genuinely care about their student body and just overall. Through the 4 years, Greg and I got very close. Like I said, he elevated me to be the best person that I could be, and I just remember having those conversations with him of growing up in a single parent home, not having a father figure really to help me navigate becoming a man and, right and wrong and really what it took to be a good man. And just remembering getting ready for graduation, walking down, the procession line and seeing Greg and him being just so happy for me, knowing what I've had to go through and the trials and tribulations of it all. And knowing that he made that impact on me, I remember embracing him with tears of gratitude. I can't say it enough. He's helped me become someone that I'm proud to be, not just as a athletic trainer, but just as a better person to the community. And I think it speaks volumes just to what Kings has on campus. So that's probably one of the best things that I can say about Kings.
Okay, now that I need a tissue, because that makes me tear. It's so nice to hear how that impacted your life as a student here at King's, because it really does. It just takes one great person to make a difference in your life. So I appreciate you sharing that story with us. And the last question is, what would you be your words to a student out there looking at colleges that's considering King's College? What advice would you give to them?
One of the things I would say is just to apply. I think a lot of smaller schools have a negative connotation to it just because we're not this big Division I university with this massive campus. But you look at what's been going on through the past just 5 to 10 years at King's. We've been buying more property. We've been expanding the campus, allowing for more space and just more diversity throughout the community. Wilkes-Barre is a college town, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that's probably one of the best things that I loved about it is, everybody knows when you wear a Monarchs jersey or anything Kings related, oh, you go to Kings, and they're so excited to talk to you about it, kind of pick your brain about it. And, just the community atmosphere and just the support that you get through the professors, through any advisors that you have. I think it's just such a conducive place to learn and to grow throughout your life. I have a lot of friends from college that I've been in contact with since I graduated, and I have lifelong friends for that. I know that no matter what, too, you can reach out to a professor that maybe you haven't talked to in a couple of years, and they're going to pick up just like you were in their office yesterday. So that's definitely one thing I would say. Just apply. I think that it's a great opportunity for you to grow.
I think that's a great comment that you made. I mean, this is a college town, and when you do walk down the streets, people are like, "Yes, King's College," because we're just prominent here, and it is a college town. You can walk outside, and you can go to the coffee shop, you can go to a restaurant, you can go to the library. But people know you, and I'm always so proud. I make King's College mask that I wear around town because it is true. When you go into a place like King's College, it's just prominent here. So a person once told me they were trying to decide to go away to college to big school. or to stay local. And their mom said to him, do you want to be a little fish in a big pond or big fish in a little pond? And I think that's so important when you think about it, because we on this campus, we get to know our students. So you're a big fish to us all the time. You're genuine, you're a student to us, you're part of our family, we get to know you. You experience that being here at King's, but everybody gets to know everybody on this campus. You're not lost in the numbers. The Alley Center right behind me, I mean, you're in that with other students. You get to know other students, not only in the athletic training program and our other programs. So I'm really glad that you felt that when you were here. I appreciate your time. I'm hoping that we can see you, visit campus when COVID, settles down a little bit. And we appreciate you taking the time today. We know you're very busy, and your story, means a lot to us. And we really appreciate you sharing that with our students and hopefully some prospective students out there, and it will help them to make some decisions. So we thank you very much. Did you have any other comments that you'd like to make?
I just want to say thank you for even giving me the opportunity to talk about my story. I think I definitely have a more unique story than most people, just with how I got to King's and what King's really meant to me and how impactful it was. So I just genuinely want to say thank you for being able to let me project how much King's means to me.
Great. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time. Well, thank you, and stay warm out there, and hopefully spring will be here soon.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.